don't know why, because it's a blustery day and it's starting to rain, but I just want to get out of the house and move my bones. Right, come on. Well, this is the view from the top of the allotments. As you can see, not the best day. There appears to be a lot of cars here, so maybe it's a committee day. It's nice, I must say, to come to an allotment site and not be on the committee. I've served my time over the years, but I'm sure in the future I'll get involved if there's a need to. So there's nothing to do today because December is usually, like I've said before, December is the only month that I really ease off on work on the allotment. And because I may be going in 2024, well, not maybe, I will be going in 2024. We just don't know which month just yet. But I've come down today because I want to, I borrowed a cup, and you know what cups are like on allotments, and I think I've borrowed one of the established person's cups, so I wanted to come down and take it back down the HQ so that we don't have an investigation. But yeah, December. Do you usually go to your plot in December? Traditionally, I would go to my plot on Christmas Day. This year, I don't think I'll do it. Right. This is the mug in question, so I'll take that one, and I'll take the other two that I've got. Start to have a bit of a clean out. And I'll close the door. Right. The allotment's looking fine. Especially this pond. I'm sort of disappointed that I won't be here to see the pond at the full glory with all these flowers at the back. Now, I could take some of the flowers, but this site is notorious with bindweed and mare's tail. And as far as I'm aware, there is no mare's tail in the part of the rhondda that I'm going to. There's bindweed, but there's no mare's tail. So I don't want to be responsible for introducing it. So I'm not going to take any plants from here whatsoever. Oh, the one thing I might take, because it's still in a pot, is this reed plant. But then the thing is, I've got nowhere to put it. So yeah, I think I might just leave things and then just buy new as time goes on. But this is the allotment. There's no point doing an allotment tour for December because there's nothing to show. That's it. Right, it's starting to rain now, so I'm going to pop indoors and have a cup of tea. I'll catch up with you in a bit because I don't know what's going on this afternoon. I had planned to go and interview John Rogers about his new book, but it's raining and I think it's only going to get worse, and I'm not particularly happy about having my cameras out in the rain like this one that I've got now. It won't be out for too long. I wouldn't like to, you know, when you go to interview somebody, one take can be about 10 minutes as you get all the gen. I don't like the thought of having my cameras in the rain for that length of time. So I don't know. We may see John later, we may not. But what I'm going to see now is a nice cup of tea. We interrupt this broadcast for a special announcement. I had an email off a viewer yesterday, in fact, saying, Sean, I'm aware you have a Patreon account where people can support you every month for a few pound and get extra videos, extra pictures and extra thoughts and feelings. But I don't want to commit to something like that, but I want to thank you for all the hours of time you've put into making these videos from over the years. So I said I have a PayPal account where you can drop a little donation there. And she said because of an issue with truck drivers in Canada, she no longer supports PayPal. So I'm not sure what that is about. So she suggested that I set up something called Buy Me a Coffee. Now, I don't like coffee, but I do like a cup of tea. So I have set it up, and I'll put the links in the video description below. So if you would like to buy me a tea as a thank you for all the hours of videos that I've produced this year, then now you can. And I thank you very much indeed, especially on these cold days. We all need a warm cup of tea. Now let us return to our broadcast. Well, we've had a cup of tea in the shed and everybody's gone home now. It's raining, so there's not a lot to do. But I put a video out the other day talking about my reflections of going back to Wales, but the camera battery ended halfway through. So I thought I would continue that chat. So yes, I'm very much looking forward now to going, well, I was before, but very keen to get there now, and I can already see that my mind is already switched to Wales. Even with small things, I've stopped listening to the local news in London and I'm starting to listen and watch the Welsh news. And I've been trying to make a list of things that I might possibly need. So if you've got any hints and tips, tell me below, because the last time I lived by myself was in Manchester about 20 years ago. And obviously things have changed. Some things have become a bit more expensive, like gas and the electric. I'm just looking, and my thermometer has said the coldest it's got this week in the shed is minus 5.2. So yes, if you've got any little hints and tips, because life will have to be frugal. Why is that making a noise? Yes, life will have to be frugal when I go down to Wales. I have to save the pennies from the moment that I get there. Now, I was hoping to have some news about the house, but I haven't. So hopefully something will come this week, because as soon as I get news about the house, then I will know more about my schedule over the next few weeks. So I can't really do much until then. And like I said, December's a bit of a weird month anyway, because there's not a lot to do in the garden. So I'm feeling life is a bit in limbo at the moment. And I thought a little strand I would do once I get to Wales is to talk about the Welsh traditions, because in Wales, even though we have St. David's Day, in Wales, even though we have St. Valentine's Day, we've also got our own patron saint of Valentine, which is in January. So I thought throughout the year I might do a bit of research and tell you about sort of the Celtic holidays that we have in Wales. And I want to be restricting myself to my own village. I'll be going out and about and going to explore West Wales in the summer, Mid Wales. So there will be a lot of stuff to show. So I'm just very keen to get there now and to start the new life. So who knows, it could be January, it could be February. It all depends what happens over the next week with this house. And I'm trying not to plan the house in my head, don't want to get too excited until it's all signed and sealed. The rain is coming now. I can't see that I'm going to be going to film with John Rogers today, because of the weather, so we'll probably do it after Christmas now. We'll see. I'll wait to see if he sends a text. So yes, I am very excited about going back now. So I don't think, but I do feel that my life in London has come to an end, and I'm just drifting now, just waiting. So I've been trying to think of things. What can I do before I go back to Wales? Things I can film in the new year. And I just sort of think I can't be bothered. I was going to go and do a film up in Gladstone Park. I was going to go do a walk up there, and I thought, can't be bothered now. My brain is very much in Wales, and starting to learn a bit of Welsh in the house. Maybe I'll do a few little Welsh songs, like Ar Hyd y Nos, a little lullaby song. So I'm learning that one at the moment. So yes, it's a bit wandering through life at the moment, just waiting for other people to make decisions that will affect me. I was thinking, in the shed here, you know those bulbs, those spring bulbs, daffodils and everything, I took half of them down to Wales last week and I donated them to one of the local charities. And I thought I will make a decision at the end of this week about whether I'm going to plant them in London. Because if I go to Wales in February, there is still time to plant these bulbs. Obviously they might not come up until April time, but they'll certainly come up. So again, everything's on hold at the moment. It is a weird position to be in. But if you've got any hints and tips for running a house and keeping your bills down, then tell me in the comments below, because it'll take a while to get back into the swing of things. But it will be nice to experience that peace and quiet, and also for the cats to have a bit more space. They'll be able to run around the house, and I'll probably spend half my time trying to find them. But I thought when I move there, I will just leave them in the bathroom. I'll put their litter tray in the bathroom. So from what I understand is you keep them in one room for a few days, and then you slowly introduce them to the rest of the house. Because if you do it all as soon as you get there, there's a bit too much for them to take in. And to be honest, it'll take time for me to furnish the place. It'll take a good 6 months for me to save up to be able to furnish this place. So I might end up just living in the one room anyway, and then slowly expand to the rest of the house. Obviously I'll put the radiators on in the other rooms, but I'll put them on a very low number just so that they can keep them frost free. Oh, an allotment. A viewer who lives in the area reached out to me and told me there's potentially plots on her allotment site, and I'd already contacted them back last summer, and they said they will have a better idea in the spring. But I looked on Google Earth maps, and there seems to be about 3 or 4. Now this could be an old picture, but there looked to be 3 or 4 plots where there were possibly allotments that were 6 foot of brambles. And she sent me a picture of the view from her plot. She's only had her plot for about 18 months to 2 years, but this is the view from the allotment site across the valleys. And on a beautiful sunny day, it will be a treat to sit outside the shed and enjoy the view. Although not doing too much of that, we'll have to crack on and get the plot done. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to run the plot. I think I need to see it first before I decide whether I'm doing the no dig method or do the old-fashioned way of doing it, of digging it. But I'd like to get it up and running fast, so maybe I'll do a section of no dig and decide. I'll have to price up what the cost is of compost, because in London it is about £60 a tonne with £10 delivery the last time that I looked into it. So I'll have to see what it is like in Wales. I did have somebody send me an email, and I don't know if I can find it, to be honest. It could be on my Facebook messages. I need to go through my phone and see if I can find it. But somebody did say that once I was settled, he knew of somebody that had, I think it was either free or cheap compost. So if you're that person, get in contact with me again, and then I'll write it down this time, rather than, because it's so confusing. You get messages on Facebook, then you get messages on the hidden part of Facebook, which it doesn't tell you that there's a message there, or it could be on email, it could be on, so it gets a bit confusing after a while. So I'm using this downtime to work on my blog, to get that sorted, to get that looking as good as I want it to, because I know when I get to Wales I'm going to hit the ground running, because there'll be so much stuff to be exploring and filming, and might even make some Welsh cakes for you. But the weather here is frightful, and the fire back at home seems quite delightful. So I think I'm going to head off and have a cup of tea. So thanks for tuning in and listening to this part 2 of my thoughts about going back to Wales. Very excited for what the future can bring. And I'll catch up with you in a few days. So from me until then, bye for now.